morning.
Happy Tuesday. Ready for some mindful morning minutes? Who could use some mindfulness and positivity? As you jump on, let us know. Every day, all the time.
Yeah, it's just so nice, spreading love, good intentions, good feelings, high vibrational thoughts, which we'll get into today. Already talking about the lesson. Oh. Welcome everyone. Welcome in this morning.
If you're feeling silly this Tuesday, let us know. We like that. We always seem to get silly on our Tuesdays, or maybe we just get silly every day. I don't know. I don't know which it is, but either way, I like it. All right. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. If any of you here, hopefully you've had an opportunity to have an amazing Halloween. How was your Halloween weekend? Hope you did some spooky, fun, silly things and had a chance to maybe even dress up and get out of character and do something different. And for all of you who participated in our Halloween contest, thank you so much. We appreciate you and have much gratitude for participating and sharing and getting things out there. So we appreciate that and all of you.
Yeah. Okay, do another round. It's so fun.
I know. I can't stop it. It's like you can't stop the music. Yes, and for those of you, let us know if you've been on our membership site. The membership site, the MindYouphoria membership site, it is absolutely free. It's so simple to sign up for. You just, your name, your email address, and then you're in. You're into getting free content, free courses, free meditations, hypnosis. So get on there. It makes it really easy on an app from your phone. So we encourage you, if you haven't already, hop on there and take advantage of that. You can join our Facebook group if you haven't already. It depends where you're watching from. Some people are on Instagram, some are on YouTube, some are on Facebook. Whatever you like, it's good with us. So.
Absolutely. We'll just So for today's lesson, I'd like you to grab a piece of paper, a little pencil if you're watching at home. If you're watching this later, watching the replay, go ahead right now. Now's a good time to grab it while we kind of think about getting started here and we start to get into the lesson. So we're super happy to be with you guys. Really, really, really excited about it. Today's going to be a really fun little show. It's going to help illuminate some things in your life, help you see how you see. So, yeah, we're going to be discussing one of the important laws of the universe when we talk about law of attraction, manifestation. And these ones today, we're going to talk about a few, are really kind of the keys to understanding before we kind of start to cap this series on the law of attraction itself next week. So we'd like to, we'd all like to kind of create more happiness and abundance in our lives, right? Raise your hand. Put a comment if you want. if you want some more happiness and abundance in your life, right? These are kind of the steps that are going to allow that to happen. So make sure that you follow along. Maybe even take little notes, but definitely get a piece of paper and a pencil. And we want to start out with a little story.
Yes, absolutely. As Earl and I were talking about just the law of attraction, some of the common misconceptions and how easy it can be to work with it if you fully understand it. And we were talking about the laws that we're going to discuss today, and it brought up a story for me that I shared with Earl and I want to share with all of you. And I really started thinking about a long time ago for me when I had this goal and this dream. I knew from a really young age that I wanted to be an investigator. And as I got older, I decided I wanted to be a crime scene investigator. And every person I would try to talk to people in the field who did this for a living, and I kept getting the same response. Oh, this isn't for you. This is, you're a female. I mean, why would you be interested in doing this? All of these things. And I got to understand that this world at that time was completely a man's world. and there weren't very many females doing this job. And it was made repeatedly clear to me that I wasn't welcome and that I couldn't, in their opinion, do this job. But I had known since I was young that this was something I was going to do. It was in there, it was so deep. So I kept looking and trying to think, okay, if they're not even interested to look at me, work with me, let me apply, let me interview, what could I do that would be something different? And so I just started putting it out to the universe, give me something, help me find something, put something there that I could do that would give me an edge, something different that nobody doing this already has. And believe it or not, within probably 6 months or so of doing this, repeatedly, just kind of putting that out there, all of a sudden I stumbled when I was just searching on the internet. The school in the city that I already was living in started having a master's in science, a forensic science program. And it was only the second master's program in forensic science in the entire nation at the time. So what are the odds it would be right in my city? And after I'd been asking for it. And so I just thought, okay, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. So I applied, I went through all the rigorous process. I went and completed my master's. And while I was in my master's program, I started internship, doing internships at the coroner's office and at the police department with the crime scene investigators, because I could say, I'm doing this new thing that no one there has, and I could bring that knowledge. And it got me into the internships, and I just kept going, kept doing it, completed the program, started going through the rigorous interviews, and the interviews are intense. You have to take a lie detector test, and I'm talking like old school lie detector tests, background checks, multiple interviews with a panel of men looking at you like, what are you doing here? We told you not to come, and sitting there anyway. And to me, I didn't even realize what I was doing at the time. But in the back of my mind, even when I was getting those looks, I could feel their energy. I knew they didn't want me sitting across from them, but I didn't care, because my energy already knew I was meant to do this. I'm already doing it. I could already see myself, feel myself doing it. And I had no idea what I was doing at the time. I didn't know as much as I know now about the law of attraction and manifestation, all of these universal laws. So I, the whole time, was manifesting these things, manifesting the opportunities. But the key was my thoughts were in alignment with my actions, and I was taking action. I didn't see the master's program and just think, I can't do that, or, I couldn't afford that, or, I saw it and was just like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And I did all these things, and I had no idea what I was doing at the time, but it got me right where I wanted to be. It got me into the field. And how exciting is that? I mean, that proves, if you understand, it was swimming upstream. It was swimming against the waves. And I did it. And it was a great accomplishment. And I didn't understand at the time how much the universe and these universal laws were supporting me in doing this and how this works. And that's what we want to get into today, is sharing that with you, because this law that I'm going to be talking about right now is the universal law of action. And many of you, let us know, have you heard of it? Have you not heard of it? But the law of action states that we must take action in our lives to see change happen, so that every action we take creates a result. And it also, of course, works both ways. If you do nothing, this law explains that then nothing will happen. So if I would have seen the program and just been like, it's not for me, or that'd be too hard, or it would take too long, then nothing would have happened and nothing would have changed. So it's really a common misconception with the law of attraction, because people hear everything about the law of attraction, the movies, everything we've heard, but what's missing from what most people hear is this law, the law of action, because you don't just simply envision, feel, and act as if, and then expect things to magically fall into your lap. We all want that, and it's possible, but there's this step that's missing. You need to actually pay attention when you're manifesting, when you're connecting to your higher self, to the energy, to your intuition. And when you're getting those hunches, when you're doing that, then you follow through with action. Because whatever's coming forward from you, from your inner place, that is always the right answer. It's always the path to take. But then we have to take action on it. We can't simply visualize it and hope it falls into our lap. And this universal law of action has to be in practice. Like it's something that you do. So if you have a business idea or something, a book that you want to write, or something that you want to create, or something that you want to improve in your life, then you have to start thinking about, okay, what action am I taking? Am I just thinking about it, or what action is this? Because that's how we manifest things here on earth. And you must engage in these actions that support your thoughts, your dreams, your emotions, and your words. And everything has to be in alignment. So that story I told, the only reason it worked for me was because all of those things were in alignment. My dreams, my thoughts, I knew I was meant to do this. I didn't care. I didn't care how many times I was told, no, you could never do this. I mean, and I was a lot of times, but it's just simply having my thoughts were in alignment with my actions, and that makes us unstoppable. So you can be unstoppable in doing anything that you want to do. And that's why this law is so exciting. And just thinking about what you want to set out to do. Are your thoughts in alignment with it? Are your actions showing it? And unless you take actions that are really, truly in this harmony, in the same place as your thoughts and your dreams, and do this kind of in an orderly fashion, in a way that makes sense, just starting with that first step. It's not intimidating, just that, what's that one thing, that small first step? If you didn't see our episode on the micro habits, that would be a great one to go back and rewatch, because that just talks about that tiny thing, that little action, that little first step. And that's all you need, to just start there and let the universe support you. And if there's, any place with the law of attraction or manifesting where most people falter and get stuck, it's in this law. It's in letting sometimes the fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs get in the way. And that happens to all of us. They call them unconscious thoughts because they're unconscious. Nobody wants to consciously be thinking negative things. But if you're wanting to create something, and in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I can't do this, or, who would read my book? Or, if the thoughts are there while you're trying to write your book, I don't know how well that's going to work out for you. So the exciting thing is, if you are feeling stuck right now in any area of your life, simply take a moment to notice the thoughts that you're having before the feeling, before the action. If you have this frustrated or discouraged feeling, then what's the thought before you get that feeling? And what are you thinking during or before you're taking action towards your goals? And the main key point here is that what we do have the power to do, and this is what Earl and I want to empower all of you to remember, is that we have the power, you have the power to choose positive thoughts. And this will support your actions and therefore your success. So yes, the law of action. I love this one.
I absolutely love it. And what a great illustration of it too. Going into a field where, it is primarily dominated by males, and even them, just kind of judging it like, oh, you shouldn't be there. And like, where are their emotions operating from? Some sort of pride. It's fear, like fear. What if we let her in, then, what do we have to do? We might not be able to speak this way or do this. And how are our culture change and all these things. And you can see those themes, they're so prevalent in so many parts of society. So I want to get into the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This one is another cool law, and the law of attraction. And it's basically states that energy can't be created or destroyed, yet it changes from one state to another. And this might sound familiar to you as if you've ever taken like a chemistry class, because it's also the same as the first law of thermodynamics, interestingly. But when we talk manifestation, law of attraction, we're talking more about the emotions, the feelings we're sending out into the universe, and the energy behind that versus just the physical matter. So it's pretty cool how these things have a micro and a macro. So most people are kind of operating from these places of shame, fear, guilt, apathy, desire, pride, or just grief. And as we've been talking these last few weeks, we want to be focusing on the energy we're sending out. Are you full of pride? Or are you constantly judging others? Are you maybe judging yourself? So I kind of want to put it into perspective. If how these feelings are affecting your goals. So let's say you want to accomplish a goal, and let's say it's losing weight. So if you approach it with a lot of fear and trepidation, like, oh, if I lose weight, well, I'll never ever be able to eat another piece of cake. Okay. And so you kind of will tend to encounter obstacles that make it hard for you to accomplish the goal. And so you may just forego that investment in yourself even altogether. On the other hand, if you approach the idea with this positive energy, these high vibrations, ooh, I'll love, fitting into that new dress. Goodness, how nice will it be to walk a few blocks and not need to catch my breath? Well, things tend to fall into place a little bit better. So when we're encountering these obstacles, we'll tend to see opportunities and not reasons to just quit. So the simplest way to really raise your vibration is to expand your consciousness, to expand your view of the world, to take yourself, because most of us are kind of operating from here, especially if we're operating in places of fear and shame and guilt. This is how we're seeing the world. We're so internally focused on, oh, what might someone say? What might people think? That we're seeing it like this, instead of like, well, if we open it up a little bit, then suddenly we're more willing to embrace courage, because it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable, to speak your mind, to go after a job that is dominated by males when you're not, when you're a female, right? So, there needs to be a willingness and a reason. You need to, be able to have kind of even acceptance of things, because those are all kind of higher, better states of mind. So when you're in a more positive state of mind, it really becomes easy to let energy flow in and change from one form to another. As this law that energy can't be destroyed, it just changes forms. So if you kind of are flowing in this high energy state, feeling good, well, you adopt kind of this non-resistance to change, and then you become more of a vessel for this perpetual transmutation of energy. You can change your energy from one thing to another. I want to do this. So now you're going to attract those things, right? Because you're always attracting the things that you're sending out with those feelings. And I think we want to get into a little technique right now that's going to help really illustrate this. So grab that piece of paper, a pen. If you haven't yet, grab a piece of paper, a pencil. I'll give you guys a moment while you get that.
Yeah, grab your pen and paper. And I love that. I love the idea of it, because just hearing Earl talk about really changing your energy, it's like you can think, maybe you were running late this morning, or you woke up and you had a hectic morning. You can almost see the color of your energy, right? Maybe it was red and you were like angry and frustrated. But if you can almost picture just changing that, just deciding like, I'm going to change that energy. I'm going to make it like this beautiful white light, or I'm going to make it this calming blue color. And, it's very interesting how we can do this simply in our mind, and it changes the energy we're putting out there. All right, let's do this.
Yeah. All right, so I want you to think about something that you really want to achieve. Okay, I want you to just think about it for a moment. Something you really want to achieve, something you really want to do. Now, you might have noticed a bunch of different things coming up for you. All right, I want you to draw an image that represents that feeling. What's that feeling you get when you think about it? So draw that image. And I'm going to do it with you guys. We'll just take like a minute or two here, just a quick little sketch. Let's get something on here, something that represents those feelings that come along.
Okay, so thinking about what you want to achieve and drawing the image that represents the feelings around that, or the thoughts around that. Got it.
Ooh, I might get a record for world's fastest sketcher right now.
Well, you're a good drawer. You're a great artist, so.
Ta-da. Luckily for you viewing at home, you will get to see my silly sketch here.
Yeah, drawing the image, for those just getting on, drawing the image when you think about something that you really want to achieve. We're drawing right now the image that represents the feeling or the thoughts that come to you when you think about achieving that.
Drawings are good because they really get into your subconscious. They let you kind of see what's really going on below the surface oftentimes. Because we might put up a certain way of being or a certain way, like we're a certain way when we think and feel, and this, when you draw it out, well, it can be really illuminating. It can really help you see things a little differently.
All right, so even if you haven't made a masterpiece, you probably have a gist already. But keep drawing if you want to, or always you can come back to it later. So now let's go a step further. If you have your pen or your pencil, then now I would like you to write what we call a sentence stem. So just at the bottom of your paper somewhere, we would like you to write, "This image tells me," and just flow with it. Just for a couple of minutes here. "This image tells me," and then fill it in. And now we're going to write one more. So under that one, we'd like you to write, "My most common thoughts and or feelings around my goal or goals are." My most common thoughts and or feelings around my goal or goals are, and then fill it in. And just one more time, my most common thoughts and or feelings around my goal or goals are. I'm just taking about 30 more seconds. Okay, and just know, for some people, once you start writing, don't you notice how much more there is to say, how many, more thoughts and feelings go with that. So you don't have to stop this here. When we get off in a few minutes, keep writing. If it's flowing, just flow with it, because as we know, writing is an ideomotor response. So you're subconsciously releasing as you write. So if it feels like there's more, come back to it. And now just look at your paper. Look at your drawing. Look at that image that represents your feelings, your thoughts around achieving your goal. And if for some people, they might have what feels like a very light or sunny or positive image. And if that's the case for you, then that shows you this is where your thoughts are. Your thoughts are more likely to be positive. And if that's the case, then your positive thoughts are assisting you in creating positive action and our thoughts become our reality. So therefore creating a result of success. And for many people, you may have had a little bit of a darker image or a foggy or cloudy image. And, I don't even want to say a negative image, because I don't think that exists. I think everything within us is just the way it is. So your image, if you were noticing it's a little less sunny, then quite possibly your thoughts around whatever you're wanting to create or do, whatever your goals are maybe a little more based on fears, or they might be based around what other people might think, doubts, limiting beliefs. And this is the perfect time. So just knowing, if that's the case, this is awareness without any judgment. Perfect time to just notice what our thoughts are. They're unconscious. We don't walk around knowing our unconscious thoughts unless we take the time to slow down and do things like this to tap into that. So if that awareness came to you, then just right now is the perfect time to start intentionally thinking. Maybe trying to pull out, like Earl was giving examples earlier, of how you can shift your energy by having positive thoughts. If it's that weight loss goal, thinking, how good it's going to feel to just open your closet, have everything fit, and just feel so good in everything in your closet. No second thought. And get into that. If it's something you're trying to create and you're just starting with that first step, just think, I'm excited for this. This is amazing. I can do this. Those positive thoughts, that's all you need to shift being stuck. And if your picture was a little cloudier, maybe you've been feeling stuck. Maybe you've been feeling frustrated, and that's normal. And now you have the awareness around it, and you'll find that the positive action comes more easily and the success is guaranteed to follow.
I love that. This kind of exercise, and I'm going to share mine in a moment. It could be really, really illuminating, because you're like how your mind may be sending conflicting signals into the universe. On one hand, your conscious mind might be like, hey, I really want to build this massive business and I want to manifest money and do all this great stuff. And then on the other hand, your subconscious might be doubting your ability to do something so amazing. So these conflicts, while they're sending in mixed signals and energies into the universe, which is going to slow down your progress. So I'm going to share mine real quick, because that was kind of what was coming up here, right? So I've got myself here speaking in front of some people. They're all smiling, having a good time. But also there's me right there, hiding behind the curtain, kind of nervous, sweating about it. So it kind of shows where my mind is at. I want to do this thing, I love it, but there's also that fear. And what it tells me is that, well, the only thing holding me back are my own fears. Right? There's no one else behind that curtain. There's no one else doubting me. It's just myself. So I think that's important. How are we getting in our own way? So really one of the first steps to growth is that first thought, because our thoughts are what fuel our actions. So where do you want your thoughts to be? And I think with that, that's where we want to take the show today and really get you guys, feeling that. So please share the love, follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Please follow and like our episodes on YouTube. That really helps us out. We really appreciate when you take the moment to do that, because it helps us spread our message to more people. So please, when you got a minute, do that. We really appreciate it. We love giving you guys content. We love sending you guys all this love. We love helping you open up your consciousness and spread love.
Yes, much gratitude and love to all of you. We'll see you here next Tuesday, Mindful Morning Minutes with Mind Euphoria. Have a great week and a great day.
Later.